Annual NAMIWalks Georgia event was held in Doraville this morning. Atlanta News First reporter Joshua Skinner was there and has the meaning behind this walk.
Mental health is no longer in the shadows.
More people are talking about mental health, but we need more people to do something about mental health.
On Saturday, that meant taking part in the annual NAMIWalks Georgia event, sponsored in part by Atlanta News First. That event, emceed by A&F evening anchor Blair Miller, brought together nearly 1,000 people to walk at Assembly Studios in Doraville in an effort to raise money and awareness for mental health issues.
At NAMI, we call that being loud and proud about mental health.
The goal here was to be loud and to smile, even in the face of tragedy.
This gives us an opportunity to celebrate all the wins, because every walker here represents a family or someone with lived experience.
The route wasn't short. It was nearly 3 miles long, and the weather could not have been better.
My very first walk 10 years ago, it poured.
The event raised more than $240,000 for NAMIWalks Georgia, one of more than 600 NAMI affiliates across the country, each making sure we are all on the path to understand mental health issues.
The passion and the dedication of our NAMI members and volunteers is incredible.
In Doraville, Joshua Skinner, Atlanta News First.